Hello and welcome back. My name is Princeton Brown from Sonic Go Productions, and today I'm going to show you guys how to mix and master Afrobeat music. I'm working again very closely with my friend TK Witty, music producer. We've done a lot of big projects, Davido, B-Red, a lot of big projects, a lot of big names. And we got another great song here by Bobo Pierce. This one is called Bin Bin.
I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh.
If you are interested in learning how to mix and master Afrobeat music, so that it has that punch, it has that dance vibe, it's clear, powerful mix and mastering steps, tune into this video and I'm going to show you exactly how I go from the beginning all the way to the end and all the steps in between. By the way, that reminds me, if you are struggling with mixing and you feel like you need some extra help, I created a quick mini course that you can take on my website completely for free. I made a bunch of videos for you guys. You can take this course and the link is in the description below. Basically, it's going to teach you how you can know when you finish a mix. A lot of times we get to the final mixing stage and we think we're done with the mix, but oftentimes there's a lot of things that if you check, or certain things that if you do, which I teach you in my mini course, link below to sign up and download, that if you do these things, you're going to greatly improve your mix right before you finish it. So no matter if you're a beginner, advanced, this mini course is great for everybody. So go ahead, click that link in the description below, either now or after the video, and check it out if you think that's for you, completely for free. So here we go, diving into Bin Bin, mix and master. Check this one out. All right, you guys. So to kick things off, I have all my tracks here. Let's make this window larger. So I like to group my tracks just a little bit, get a little bit of organization going on. So I'll put the kick as the first track. Kick, I'm gonna try and group, majority of the drum tracks together in the 808. So let's put all those right here. For now, I'm just gonna give those a red color. We got guitar backups. I believe these would be vocals. So we're definitely going to want to put those with the vocals. This is a vocal. That's a vocal. So I'm going to color my vocal tracks purple. We'll place those at the end. So the blue tracks in the middle are music tracks, guitars, stuff like that. We got drums and we got vocals. So now the first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down the faders on all of these, just like that. I have a limiter on my master bus, as you can see here. Got my limiter. And I'm just going to start mixing the track. I just want to get some levels, get a vibe. So let's start this track from the beginning so you guys can hear how it sounds and get a vibe. Let's turn it up. I like to mono the kicks in the 808.
All I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, check your silver dealer. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, check your silver dealer. The way you move in that way. sexy, bin bin. I feel the tension high up your waist, oh. Sexy with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure with the waist 28, oh, baby. Hey, your body so sassy, girl looking so flashy. Yeah, dagul by my kholla, so big kham fi matalla. When you're in motion, you trigger emotions. Your composure, because in vibration. Oh, Alina, check your silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, oh, Alina, check your silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure with the waist 28, oh, baby. Oh, Alina, check your silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, oh, Alina, check your silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin bin.
So as you can see, like a really mellow, nice groove, nice vibe. Basically, the levels are pretty good. Like I said, my producer who I work with a lot, TK, he does some mixing already. So I'm doing mixing as well in this process, but a lot of it has already been taken care of. So we need to get the volume at mastering level. So a healthy, like at the end of the day, I like to master my tracks at -8, around there usually. But for like a good working volume, I want to be around like -10. So I'm just gonna bump this up and get it up to -10. So here we go.
I feel the high tension.
CK Weezy.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eye.
So now I'm gonna start getting into the mixing. So there's a hi-hat or something that's very piercing in the high end here. So I'm actually gonna just do a high cut, and I'm gonna roll out some of the high end in the percussion track. I don't want to, actually, no. Instead of that, because you want to preserve the high end in the percussion track, I'm gonna do a multi-band, and I'm going to compress that really high hi-hat that's going on in there.
CK Weezy.
Let's see where it comes in. You guys can hear right there. We want to compress that. So now, it meshes in with the rest of the groove. It's not kind of sticking out. So keep going.
Blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my.
And what we can do too is actually increase the frequencies around the cross stick. We want to emphasize those. All this is shakers, which are good. But I think all of these frequencies here could come up. So here we go. Something like that. Here we go.
Blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, I dealer. The way you moving that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, I check your dealer. The way you that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension.
Sometimes you just gotta play the track a little bit more,
Sexy
just to make sure you got the levels good.
The waist 28, oh baby. Hey. Your body so sassy, you're looking so flashy. Yeah. Dagul by Moholla, so big a khamfi matala. When you're in motion, you trigger emotions. Your composure, because in vibration. Oh Alina, check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina, check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh.
So overall, like, there's honestly not much that I want to do. There's not a lot of stuff I need to really take out. So again, you know, use your ears. Use your ears and only do what is completely necessary. So now I'm going to do one of my favorite things. Let's see if we can get it going here. So we're gonna add the heat function, and if you've ever seen any of my videos and me using heat, you know, heat in Pro Tools is basically like mixing through a console. So I really like the vibe that this gives me and a lot of separation that it gives me in the tracks. So check this out as I mix through heat. So on the right side is gonna be more brighter, on the left side is more warmer.
Check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina. Check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight. Oh Alina. Check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline.
Kind of like it just like that. I like the warmer feel, you know. I want to keep this track very warm and just nice and smooth, you know, because that's kind of the vibe of the track. So I don't want anything too bright or hyped. Let's keep playing it.
I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina. Check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist.
So one thing I'll actually do is I'm gonna create a bus. I'm gonna call this music. I basically want to be able to affect all of these music tracks together at once through here. And so now I can, just with this fader, I can take out all the music tracks.
I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina.
You know, and then I just get the drums, for example. Which also reminds me, I think I want to actually add a little bit more punch to the percussion track. So let's put a little smack attack on here. Put the sensitivity up and just add a little bit of this attack.
I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina. Check your silma dealer. I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina. Check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension. I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina. Check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the line. I see the bin bin. Oh, oh Alina. Check your silma dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin bin.
So as you can see right there, basically what I was going for was increasing the cross stick of the rim hits. Just gives me more of a dance vibe. So I believe I achieved that there. So yeah, let's just listen to the mix of the drums and the bass first for a little bit.
I see the bin bin. Oh, Alina. Check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline. See your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh. Baby, hey. Your body so sassy, girl looking so flashy.
So I think another thing that we could do is add a little bit of EQ on the vocal, just to give it some more excitement and presence. And I really like Pultec style EQs on vocals just because they're very smooth. So let's play with the vocal now, the lead vocal track.
I see the bin bin. Oh, Alina. Check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline. See your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh. Baby, hey. Your body so sassy, girl looking so flashy. Da gul by mokholle. So begin gaan fi matalle. When you're in motion, you trigger emotions. Your composure, because in vibration. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline. I see the bin bin. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline. See your sexy bin bin.
So now, you know, that vocal really is a little bit more exciting to me. But there's a little bit of S's that got brought out, some sibilants that got brought out by boosting. So now before the EQ, I'm going to put a de-esser. We'll do split band. We'll take the look ahead off. If you have this plugin, I advise doing that just because you're going to get some delay compensation that you don't want, so that you don't want the vocal delayed on the beat, so I take that off.
Feel the high tension.
Let's go to the chorus.
Oh, baby. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline. I see the bin bin. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline. See your sexy bin bin.
Cool. So we got the vocal kind of more exciting in the track. Let's listen again.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes.
And I'm just gonna clean up anything that is below here. Basically, we don't want anything to interfere with the low end, so take that out of the vocal.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, check your silver.
I'm gonna boost some frequencies in the shaker, just to bring out some more of that vibe.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise.
And then actually what I'm going to do too is I think there's like one frequency in particular with this like really trebly hi-hat. I'm just going to try and find that and duck it out with the EQ here. So that is a pretty annoying frequency that I don't really think we need. So I'm going to take a lot of this out. Let's see. That helps a little bit. Play it in the track.
All I see is a blessing in disguise. You the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin. Oh.
So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna switch over to my very small Bluetooth speaker, just to check the mid range. And I'm gonna try and actually make sure that the 808 is a huge part in this song, and I want to make sure that it comes through on the small speaker. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna add a little bit of distortion with the lo-fi plugin. All you gotta do is just crank the distortion up a little bit and just bring this back down. So let's hear where we're at.
All I see is a blessing in disguise. You the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure with the waist 28.
So that sounds really good. You know that 808 is much more beefier now. If you're listening on studio speakers, which I highly advise, especially with my videos, listen in your studio. You're gonna get a much more accurate representation of what I'm doing. But you can really hear that 808 is a lot more beefier, just by that lo-fi plugin by itself. Let's bring in the music now.
All I see is a blessing in disguise. You the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin. I feel.
So sometimes, for example, what I just did there is like this melody track, which was like the main guitar, the main kind of like music track going on. It had majority of the volume. I didn't even hear this, guitar pom-pom track at all. So by muting this, I was actually able to identify it and then realize like the volume of that needed to go way up. So now I pushed that way up, and now we're getting more of that Afrobeat vibe. So just really pay attention to listening. It's all about listening.
All I see is a blessing in disguise. You the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to.
So we got a nice solo guitar going on here, and I definitely want to accentuate that. I want to bring it out. So I'm going to throw an EQ on this and see if we can just make it shine a little bit more. So that helps a little bit. I boosted quite a bit of top end. There isn't much on it, top end wise. So let's hear if that cuts more in the mix.
You trigger emotions, your composure, because in vibration. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure with the waist 28, oh, baby. Oh, Alina, check.
And what I'm constantly doing is just listening and checking levels. A lot of mixing, honestly, is just in the levels and how you feel the music. You know, certain things like that background vocal that came in just a second ago, like I really wanted to feel that emphasized and like come out. So you know, I emphasized and pulled that up. You know, simple certain things like that.
See your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist too. Sexy
I'm gonna bring up this
figure
guitar a
eight
little bit.
with the waist 28 too. Feel the high tension, high up your waist too. Sexy figure eight with the waist 28 too, baby. Hey, your body so sassy.
So that sounded really nice. Maybe we could take a little bit of low end off of this guitar, just to make it mix in a little bit better. Something like that. Let's hear it in the mix.
K Weezy.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, Jiggy Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, Alina, Jiggy Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, higher.
Cool. So, like I said, I like to switch back and forth between speakers. So I just did a bunch of listening on my little, you know, small mid-range speaker. Now I'm gonna go back on my mains here and check out the mix.
K Weezy.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile.
So there seems like, I don't know, there was a little bit of a reverb on here, but something must have happened to it. So I'm actually I'm gonna add a reverb on here just to smoothen out the sound of this. Yeah, that smooths out the sound a little bit. There's some like, I don't know what it is, some like little hiccups going on in there or something. Anyways, it kind of smoothing the sound a little bit. Let's check it out.
The apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, Jiggy Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline.
So the other thing I would like to do is warm up the vocal a little bit. And one of my favorite ways of doing that is actually adding this compressor. It really creates a really nice tone. So I'm gonna just do it, maybe do a slight bit of compression, but not a lot. Check it out.
The apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, Jiggy Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, I see the bin bin. Oh, Alina, Jiggy Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist too. Sexy figure eight with the waist 28 too. Feel the high tension, high up your waist too. Sexy figure eight with the waist 28 too, baby. Hey, your body so sassy, girl looking so flashy.
And let's hear that back in the mix.
CK Weezy.
All right, maybe that's a little bit too much. So let's bring it down.
CK Weezy.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes.
So there's a good jazz guitar, it says, playing right here, but you can't hear it at all. So what is this guitar doing? Let's solo it. All right, cool. So let's actually raise the volume on this, clip gain, and let's try and mix this into the rest of the music. I'm going to mute the vocals for now and just mix in that jazz guitar.
CK Weezy.
So, you know, you got to find the correct volume where you can kind of hear everything and everything is, you know, playing off of each other. Nothing is over anything else. You know, everything needs to have its space. I hope I didn't say too many everythings in that sentence. So another thing is, like, we really want to hear the attack of this guitar, because it's more so about the rhythm and the attack. It's not about the holding a tone. So I'm just going to try and boost as much high end as I can and hear more of the attack. That might work right there. Let's hear that in the mix. And he has it kind of panned to the right. I kind of want it more so on the left. I think there's more space over there, so I'm going to use the S1 imager and just pan this to the left like that. This plugin is really good at finding space. You know, I did asymmetry. You know, I messed with this and I messed with the rotation, and it does a weird thing to the sound where you can, it's not just panning, it kind of like pushes the sound as if it's like just shooting it in a certain direction, especially when you know, only when we're talking about stereo signals. Obviously, if this was a mono signal, you could just pan it and it would already feel that way. But really cool plugin. Check that one out. So this guitar part here is the main, you know, guitar melody, and I want to bring out some more of the mids in this, just to hear more definition, because right now there's not a lot of mid-range detail. It's more like low mids. You know, I want to hear more of those strings in it a little bit more, so let's try and get that with this EQ. So again, I just kind of boosted pretty much high-end stuff. This is more, you know, mids, high mids. You know, and this is a shelf at 2.5K and above, which is pretty much the high mids to the highs. We just want more of the definition in the guitar to come out, which we got now. So let's mix this back in. So this was you can tell that this was definitely a real guitar. There's a little bit of hum from the guitar amp, and we want to take out any mud that is in there. We don't want that to get in the way of the bass and the low end frequency. So here we go. So I don't want to take out too much low mids because it's going to lose some of that vibe. So let's try that. If we hear too much hum in the mix, then we might have to roll that up even further. So we have, more tracks here that we haven't really dissected. What is this? Okay. So we want to make sure that kick really comes out because it emphasizes certain points in the song. So let's just bring it up in volume, make sure that it hits. Again. So I might be a little bit loud. The hard thing about this kick is that this 809 kick is you really can't hear it. It's more like a bass drop type vibe is what I'm getting. So let's hear it right in this section. So one thing we can actually do, we don't really care so much about the attack on this. So we can actually reduce a lot of this attack. This might be over exaggerating, but we want the tail basically of this. Here's with the original attack. Take some of the attack out. The issue is because it's low frequencies, and this plugin in particular, we are getting a little bit of distortion. This may be something more so like that you'd want to do manually. Maybe we could try it just to see. That's actually a little bit better. Let's actually do this. So I'm actually going to make a whole entire copy of this whole 808 like that. But basically I took out the initial punch of it because we really don't want that, and it's actually overpowering the sound of that bass drop. So I took out the initial punch, and now I'm just dropping that in wherever the kick hits. So we can see the kick hits there. We'll just line it up and drop it in just like that. Same thing here. Line those waves up and drop it in right there. And this is just a test. This may not completely work, but we're going to test it out. Line it up. There's not too many of these, which is the good thing. Line that one up. We got one more here. Sometimes you got to do some things manual just to achieve the sound you want. So don't be afraid of that. All right, here we go. Let's listen to it in the mix. Because we're getting the kick, we're getting the punch from this kick, and they're basically hitting at the same time. I don't know. So right around there, I can actually start to feel a little bit of that bass drop. So hopefully that helps. From top.
I feel the high tension.
So this track right here is really cool. And these little effects right here. So one thing we can actually do with this, I'm going to clip gain it up a little bit, but it's actually, make that shine in the beginning because there's not much going on, and then drop it back down at a lower volume when the rest of the track plays. So check it out. Let me go to the beginning of the song. Drop it a little bit more. Right there's a really good volume. And then right here forward, basically, I'll just do that much. We can drop this back down. I'll do 3.5 dB for now. 3.5. See how that mixes in the song.
I feel the high tension.
CK Weezy.
So we actually can keep it up because the whole song hasn't really started yet.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise.
So these, I don't really hear these. I'm going to try and clip gain them up just so I can hear it in the mix.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. When I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise.
So it's not really doing much. That was just for my own curiosity.
Apple of my eyes, with your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela, the way you move in that waistline.
So we could just actually put this down to like 1 dB. Just drop it a little bit more in the mix.
Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh, baby.
And one thing that we can do just to make sure that this is heard in the mix is actually just add some distortion on it. Since it's low in the mix, we still want to make sure that it's heard and felt. So I'm just going to throw a little distortion and mix it back in.
Pull up my eyes, with your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. Oh, Alina, check your Silmadela. The way you move in that waistline, see your sexy bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, with the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, we the waist 28, oh baby. Hey, your body so sassy, girl looking so flashy. Yeah, dagul by my collar, so big a ham fi my dollar. When you in motion, you trigger emotions. Your composure, because in vibration. Oh Alina, check your still my dealer. The way you moving that waistline, I see the bin. Oh, oh Alina, check your still my dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, we the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh.
You know, and like really feel the music. In this section, there was a lot of space. Let's make that guitar feel just shine a little bit even more.
High up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, we the waist 28, oh. Feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight, we the waist 28, oh baby. Oh Alina, check your still my dealer. The way you moving that waistline.
So there's another plugin I want to put on the vocals, on the lead vocals here. It just gives it a nice round sound to it. Smooths it out, hopefully just a little bit. So I'm gonna put the Neve plugin on here. So we got the Neve setting on the NLS channel, which is just, you know, this is our harmonic saturator. We just want to give that vocal some more saturation, some more warmth, just make it more round. So let's try and add this.
Hey, when I'm looking in your eyes, all I see is a blessing in disguise. You're the apple of my eyes. With your beautiful smile, I want you to be mine. Oh Alina, check your still my dealer. The way you moving that waistline, I see the bin. Oh, oh Alina, check your still my dealer. The way you moving that waistline, see your sexy bin. I feel the high tension, high up your waist, oh. Sexy figure eight.
And sometimes you got to compensate just by adding, you know, decreasing the volume slightly. But I think we're good there.
Figure eight, we the waist 28, oh baby. Hey, your body so sassy, girl looking so flashy. Yeah, dagul by my collar, so big a ham fi my dollar. When you in motion, you trigger emotions. Your composure, because in vibration. Oh Alina, check your still my dealer.
Let's see where we're at, peaking at. It sounds good to me. You know, I just checked it on my small speaker. The only thing that I really heard was the percussions, the shakers. They could use just a slight bit more high end and more excitement. You know, this is the real test for me, this little speaker, because honestly, this is what majority of people are listening on, and if it doesn't connect with me on that, then it's not connecting with me anywhere. So that is how I mixed and mastered Bin right there in real time for you guys. Hopefully you learned something. If you're still struggling with something in regards to mixing or mastering, production in general, leave a comment below, and I'll definitely check those out and reply back to you. As well, I have my free mini course where you can learn a bunch of great mixing techniques from me online for free on my website. The link is in the description below to log in and be able to access that mini course for free. Again, I keep telling people because I do have paid courses, but I also have this one. But this one will give you a bunch of different steps and different things to look at when you're finishing your mix. Sometimes you get to the end of the mix and you're just not sure if you're done. And there's a lot of things that you can do to correct your mix and just improve your mix at the final stages that people are unaware of. So take this mix, you'll find out all that great information. If this was good info, you got a lot of value from it, subscribe to this channel. So you can constantly see the new videos that I post and new, tracks that I'm working on and learn from them as well. I appreciate you guys always. Again, my name is Princeton from Sonic Gold Productions. I'll see you later. Peace.
Yeah.